So if you like the idea of a healthy, simple, high-protein vegan snack for at home or on the go, you'll love these bars. I've got my Cinnamon-Raisin and my chocolate chip cookie dough, both made with no oil, no wheat, no refined sugar, and no unnecessary ingredients. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your own. All right, so we're going to be making two different kinds of high protein bars here. We're going to start with the chocolate chip cookie dough bars. These are absolutely delicious. You'll love them. Let's talk about what we're using to make them. For the protein, the boost of protein, I'm going to be using Complement protein powder. Now, I'm sure you've seen this before if you've been watching my videos. It's the only protein powder that I use. I used to make my own protein powder and just grind some nuts and seeds, but I found this product and it's so clean. It has no sugars, no artificial flavors, great amino acid profile. So why make it if I can buy it? The only reason I made it for myself for years is because I couldn't find a product like this. Now that I have, it's what I go to. I'm going to be using dates to sweeten, of course. I'm going to be using some oats. Now, when I buy oats, it's important to me that I get a particular brand because these oats are organic, certified, glyphosate-free, and they're sprouted. All three things super important to me when I'm going to eat oats. We're going to be using some ground flax seeds. I'm going to be using some chocolate discs and chips. I got some plant milk here. This is walnut milk, but you could use any plant milk, cashew, or whatever plant milk you like, but I typically use walnut milk. I got some chips to go in the bars. Now, I got chocolate in two different places here. I'm going to explain more about why that is when we make these bars. I got some nut butter. I've got cashew butter, but you could use a different nut butter if you prefer. I've got the protein powder here. I got some vanilla. And these are the ingredients we're going to use. Now, the questions that I get a lot is where do you get date sweetened chocolate chips? Where do you get chocolate that doesn't have high leads of cadmium or anything else? And where do you get these oats that are sprouted organic and glyphosate free? And so in my app, if you haven't heard, I'm going to have an app coming out really soon. But in my app, I have videos talking about the different brands that I prefer and why. Some brands, it doesn't matter. You know, some products you can buy this brand or that brand. Other ones, though, there are specific brands that I use because they are the cleanest, etc. And that's the case for the chocolate and the oats. And again, if you get my app, you'll see those videos talking about the brands that I recommend, and I'll tell you exactly what the brands are and where to get them. I'll have a link to my app in the descriptions below, hveating.com. All right, let's start putting these bars together. All right, so the first thing we're going to do to make these bars is we're going to get our wet ingredients here mixed up and get them nice and smooth by putting them in our processor and just blending them for a while. Okay, so once I've got all the ingredients into the processor, I'm blending them until the dates are broken down as much as possible so that the mixture is nice and really smooth. Okay, so now we've got our wet ingredients blended and we made it nice and smooth as you can see here. So the next step is to put in our dry ingredients and then mix again until everything is nice and blended. Now, when you're blending the dry ingredients, the mixture becomes very thick and some small pieces of oats may remain, but don't worry at all about that because it won't be a problem. All right, so what I've done here is I've stopped because when I was mixing my dough, I noticed that it was really hard to mix it. Now, we want our dough to be nice and thick. That is the goal, but it was really hard for the processor to manipulate the dough. So I'm stopping. I'm going to help by spreading it out a little bit, and I'm going to add a little more plant milk to it. So, you know, it's always good to be intuitive when you're making things. If you see something like that, a problem where something just isn't mixing, then you want to address it. And again, I'm going to do it by adding a little more plant milk. All right, so between adding the plant milk and kind of helping to move the dough along, it should be fine now. Let's blend it again. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. So now we've got our dough completely mixed. Now it's time to fold our chocolate chips into our dough. Now to do that, I'm just going to take the blade out of here. All right. Okay, and now I'm just going to take my chocolate chips and bring them in here and get them mixed in. Now, you could do this in a separate bowl if you wanted to. You could transfer this to a bowl and then do your chips, but that's more dishes to wash, so I like to do it this way. We're going to go straight in with our chips now. Now, I'm going to try to disperse the chocolate chips the best that I can, but I'm not concerned with getting them all because I can also incorporate them when pressing the dough into the pan. All right, so now I've got my chocolate chips pressed into my dough. Of course, there's going to be a few at the bottom that didn't get pressed in really well, but we'll address that once we get our dough in the pan, which is what I'm doing right now. So before putting your dough into the pan, I suggest lining the pan with parchment paper. This way you can easily remove the bars when they're ready without them sticking too much. So now those extra chocolate chips that were at the bottom of the processor have been worked into our dough. As you can see, it looks delicious. Now, by all means, you could stop right here and you would have a delicious chocolate chip cookie dough bar. But I'm going to take it a step further. Going to get some chocolate melted. I'm putting another layer of chocolate, which will be absolutely delicious. But again, if you wanted to stop here and make it even more simple, you could do that now. But right now, I'm going to get ready to get these coated. Let's do that. Okay, so now we're gonna just put our bars aside for right now, and now it's time to make the chocolate. So let's have some fun. Now, my setup for making chocolate is really simple. I just have a bowl, and I have a pot underneath with some water. I'm gonna heat the water up. It's gonna make the bowl hot. Chocolate will start to melt, and then I'll mix it around to keep it nice and smooth. Now, you could do this directly in a pot on the stove. The only problem with that is a lot of times it'll start to scorch the chocolate, and then you have an issue with your chocolate sticking to the pot. And so to just alleviate that possibility, we're going to put our bowl on top of our pot, chocolate in bowl, nice and simple. Let's do it. So once I've added the chocolate to the bowl and it begins to melt, I'm just going to stir it until it gets completely smooth. So now we've got our chocolate melted. It's ready to pour on top of our bars. So the next step is to cover our bars with the chocolate, put it in the refrigerator, and while it's setting, we'll get to our cinnamon raisin bars. So I start by pouring all of the melted chocolate onto the bars. Now I find the easiest method is just to tilt the pan until there's an even layer covering the whole surface. All right, and just like that, our bars are ready to go in the refrigerator. Let's get them in the fridge and let's move on to these delicious cinnamon raisin bars. Now, I don't know about you, but I love the combination of cinnamon and raisins. Now, the base ingredients for these bars are going to be the same as the bars that we just made. The only difference, obviously, is that there's no chocolate in this one, but we're bringing in our raisins and our cinnamon. But other than that, we have the same base ingredients. Let's start putting these bars together. Okay, so just like the first bars, I'm going to process the wet ingredients and then the dry ingredients. Okay, same process as with our chocolate bars here. We're just going to remove our blade, and then we're going to fold in our raisins, our cinnamon, get it mixed really well, and then we're going to put them in our pan. Now, since the dough is so thick, it can be easier to use your hands to both mix and press it into the pan. Then you can switch to a flat spatula to create a nice smooth surface. All right, time for my favorite part, cutting the bars. Now, I've had these in the refrigerator now for about an hour or so, just long enough for them to set and be firm enough to cut them and get the results we want. So let's do that now. So you can see here that the parchment paper makes it easy to remove the finished bars from the pan. Then you can get them cut and onto a plate or into an airtight container and into the fridge. All right, so we've got our chocolate chip cookie dough bars all completed and cut. I'm going to set those aside, and now we're going to cut our cinnamon raisin bars. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. Right, we got both of our bars done now. We've got our cinnamon raisin and our chocolate chip cookie dough, both bars with a decent amount of protein, but the true test is the taste. Let's give them a try. I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with chocolate chip cookie dough. You know it's good, I know it's good. It is now confirmed. Let's go to our cinnamon raisin. Right. Delicious also. Can't go wrong. Pick your favorite flavor, make one or make both. Excellent snack to have on hand. Healthy vegan style. No oil, no wheat, no refined sugar. No unnecessary ingredients. You'll love them. All right, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipes, look below the video and tap on the word more and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.